Hi, I'm Emma Edwards, back in your podcast feed with some new episodes of So What, the energy pod that aims to break things down and help you with tips on how you can take control of your energy bills. For the next few episodes, we're going to tackle some of the things that you can do to electrify your home, reduce your emissions, and importantly, help save on your energy bills. First off, we're going to tackle home batteries. And here to help me with that today is Chris Zondanos, Origin's General Manager of Electrify and New Connections. Chris, welcome.
Hi, Emma. Thank you.
Electrify, that sounds serious.
Super serious.
What do you do at Origin? Tell me.
Well, I help consumers through the retail transition. So as customers, want to educate themselves and find what's available when they're thinking about electrifying their home, the people that I look after at Origin help them facilitate that.
Okay. So talking about electrification, we're kind of focusing on home batteries today because these have been all the rage lately. Let's sort of start simple for anybody that might be completely new to this. What is a home battery? What does it do? And how can it help me?
Sure. Well, home batteries are all of the rage at the moment. And it's the ability for you to be able to capture the solar that you would generate on your rooftop into a device, a box in your home, and store that energy. So it's effectively a storage device for energy.
Right. And so why have these been the talk of the town? Is something changed? Is there a new technology? What's going on?
Yeah, well, it's certainly there are a few things that are making it all the rage at the moment. I think the first and foremost, it's cost of living. Prices of energy and the cost of living crisis that we're currently in means customers and consumers want a better way to reduce their power bills, and power bills are going up. So it's quite topical. The second element that's driving a lot of that demand and the conversation at the moment is the government rebate that's recently been released as of the 1st of July. And really that enables customers to get access to products that were otherwise a little bit out of reach, particularly for those that are struggling paying their bills to start with. And the third one is, price point. How much does it cost to get one of these things in your home, and how much of an offset do you get with that government rebate?
So, maybe we can talk costing a little bit, or maybe cost relief from having one.
Yeah.
If people are coming into this or they're getting an interest in this because of the rising cost of energy, what does it look like when you have a home battery? Are you completely independent? Do you have no bills at all? Or is it like a shared thing where your bills are going to be less? How's that planning out?
Yeah, well, I think it's different for everyone, and depending on what state you're in and the type of house that you have, depends on the type of system that you can then install into your premise.
Right.
So the size is always important, but with size comes cost as well. But importantly, I think what has shifted greatly is the cost to get one of these batteries into your home. Once upon a time, and when I say once upon a time, about 18 months ago, you would pay about $18,000 for a battery.
Okay.
Installed
Plus
in your
the
house.
panels.
Plus the panels,
Yeah.
which is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
And if a consumer's bill is $2,500 each and every year, even if it reduces by half, that's a long payback period.
Yeah.
So accessing these things are a little bit out of reach. Additionally, you also had certain manufacturers in the market that, didn't give you a lot of choice. So demand wasn't there, price was expensive, manufacturers were limited. That total price point made it difficult. Now what we've seen, two things emerging. The government rebate is allowing customers to access a government fund to be able to reduce that price point, a pretty significant reduction of about 30% of the battery cost.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is it's also allowed and introduced new entrants into the market. So you've not got one or two options anymore, you've got lots of different options.
Okay.
So the price to manufacture these batteries and the size of these batteries has shifted a lot. We've been talking for years now about the year of the battery is coming, but it was always too expensive.
Yeah.
Now you've almost got a perfect storm. Government rebate driving cost or affordability down, the ability to access a battery down. And the second point, lots of manufacturers price point is also changing and reducing significantly. Between both of those things coming together, a customer can now access a battery for about $6,000, up to about $12,000, depending on the size. But starting at $6,000 installed is a big, big shift from the 18,000, that I talked about not so long ago.
And that payoff period is a lot shorter.
Certainly
if that
is.
upfront investment is smaller.
That's it.
When it comes to that battery and solar together, just so listeners are clear, what's different if you don't have the battery? Yeah. If you just have the panels?
That's a great question. For decades now, Australia has been driving solar installations, and with over 4 million homes in this country have got solar on their rooftop, which is brilliant, and that allows you to access when the sun is shining energy and keep your bills down. So you're not buying it off the grid. Instead, you're producing solar and using that.
Yeah, right.
The challenge with solar is that you want it when you need it. So sometimes when you need it, it's at nighttime and sun's not shining.
Yeah.
So that's where batteries come in.
Right. So you get more use out of that solar you're collecting.
Correct. Gotcha. You get so when the sun shines heavily in the middle of the day, you store that, you use what you need, but the stuff that you don't need, you sit in a battery. Right. And then at nighttime when you do need that energy, that's where you access the solar that you've generated during the day. And that allows you to be able to manage your bills a lot better, more effectively, and even out that cycle.
Especially through the seasons as well, I would imagine.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Summer, winter, rainy day, sunny day, all of those variables. So a battery is really, really important. And again, what was once not quite economical, now that the price point is shifted, what you're now seeing is all of those rooftops, those customers with solar panels but no battery, they're all going, how do I plug in a battery now? Yeah. And of course, for the customer that doesn't have either, they're looking at both options. How do I install solar and battery now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in. You sold it to me in like 6 minutes, so consider me sold. So we're seeing record levels of installations across Australia. What does that mean for our energy future?
Yeah, we certainly are. We're seeing, at the end of last year, we had circa 280,000 batteries as a country installed, around that number. We're now seeing about 25,000 installations a month since July 1.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it is flying. So the government rebate is taking off. We're seeing 4 times the inquiries and we're seeing a lot more installations. So customers now are saying how they have an appetite because of that affordability. How can I get access? Of course, there are other challenges now, getting stock into the country, getting an installation. Everybody wants to do it before summertime. So all of those normal things that you would expect. Yep. But that's now the main driver.
Yeah. Are you seeing those installations are from existing solar customers or they're completely new to electrifying?
Both.
In general?
Both. We're seeing there's 4 times the battery queries as you would expect because of the price point, but we've also seen solar inquiries double, and that's for the other 8 million rooftops that don't have solar.
Yeah, I'm still astounded by the 4 million. Like that's a huge percentage.
Huge.
I was doing the maths while you were talking. I was like, hang on, how many households are there? That's a huge percentage.
Australia is one of the leading countries when it comes to rooftop solar.
Oh, wow.
And that's destined to get to 60% of rooftops in the next 10 years.
Wow.
So all of those customers, most of those customers, I would assume are not just considering solar when they add, one of these renewable assets on their rooftops. They'll also be bundling it with a battery as well.
Yeah, well, especially now with this rebate. Talk to me about installation a little bit. What sort of, I guess, downtime or work time is there to have one of these installed? Is it quite a disruption to day-to-day life or does it get done in a few hours?
To do a battery on its own, if everything is relatively straightforward, most installers could do that within a few hours.
Oh, okay.
Because you've got older solar systems out on rooftops, they often have to review that solar system to see if it is compatible and it's appropriate to plug in a battery so that you can, depending on the scenario, that can take a little bit longer. But if it's straightforward, everything is current, it can take a few hours for a battery installation. It can also take a few days if it's, a few more problems to solve.
Talk to me about the virtual power plant let's say you've got solar and you've got a battery. How does the virtual power plant tie into that electrification in the home?
Yeah. So once you've got solar and you've got a battery, you're effectively a generator of power. You can generate your own power and you can store your own power. So that's fantastic, and you can normalize your own usage profile throughout the day. You might have a little bit too much that you don't want to, you don't need to use. So you have an option to be able to sell that back to retailers. So sell it back to the grid.
Yeah. I was thinking, can I power next door and sell them rent for my energy?
Well, virtually you probably could, So the virtual power plant is a retailer's ability to aggregate power. So be able to access your battery when you don't need it and when you allow us to do so, in order for us to then offset the demand on the grid. So as a retailer, it's valuable for us, and that means that we then pay our customers if they allow us to access their battery.
So if you're on holiday or something and you're collecting power.
Correct.
You can sell that back.
If you are a part of a VPP, and then so effectively if you had a part of you were on our program with our virtual power plant, you would enable Origin for when you don't need your power, for us to be able to access your battery, whether or not you're on holidays or there's a particular timing during the day, or just during a spike event where electricity is a little bit volatile, then we would pay you for that.
Oh, that's interesting. Little side hustle.
Yeah, well, it's great. And lots of customers are accessing the value. But, you could get, dependent on, we have different variations of those plans available at Origin. And depending on how far you want us to go, you can get a reasonable amount of value back, which helps you get that payback period sooner rather than later. So rather than wait 6 or 7 years for the return on investment, you could offset by a significant amount if you join a virtual power plant.
I'm getting more and more intrigued. Let's say everybody's as sold as I am from this conversation with you, Chris. What is everybody's first step if they're listening and thinking, I want to get serious about this battery thing? Where do they go for the first step?
Great question. Jump on our website, have a look at the content. We have some tools, some calculators, some things that will help you make a more informed decision. And the decision doesn't mean you have to buy online. It means you need to get a quote because everyone's circumstances are different. Once you jump on our website and you have a look at the content, and you can then engage with us to get 3 quotes from our trusted installers that are vetted rigorously for quality, support, and price point as well. Once you make a decision, you can get 3 obligation-free quotes. And that means you'll then have the economics to work out whether or not it's the right thing for you to do. So jump on the website, educate yourself, use some of the tools. If not, feel free to give us a call. But otherwise, get 3 quotes, fill in your information. 3 installers will call you, make an appointment with you and come out and see you and give you an actual, a quote to make the appropriate decision.
Amazing. And this government rebate there's no end date currently?
No, not at the moment. There is an amount of funds available, but it's $2.3 billion that the government has allocated. So we have a little bit of runway before that runs out. So, I talked about earlier, I think the bigger problem is because of this demand that we've seen, it's getting an installation. So, but don't be rushed into anything. Make sure that it's appropriate for you. Get 3 quotes, go and have a look at what's available out there. And I think most people are quickly realising that the year of the batteries now.
Chris, thank you so much. This has been so insightful. Thank you for telling us all about the battery.
You're welcome. My pleasure, Emma.
So What is the show that helps you with tips and tricks on how you can take control of your energy bills, and it's brought to you by Origin. If you enjoyed this chat, you can listen to other episodes or just hit follow in the podcast app you're in right now. See you next time.